Come and get your love. Come and get your love. I can't really sing to that one. I ain't a rapper. Sorry, bro. Ready?
Ready.
Wow, this is really
Can't do this drum roll too long. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Off Axis podcast. This is number 10.
Woo!
Numero 10. We made it all the way to number 10. Thank you guys for everyone who's watched them so far, and on to 100, and then on to 1,000. Hopefully, yeah.
Not hopefully, eventually.
I'm having fun. I'm not bored yet. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my fiancé, Lily.
Hello.
Lily Orion, soon to be Markley.
Eventually.
Are you nervous?
No, I think just more so we were planning it for next year, and I don't know if that's actually going to be happening with the COVID-19 going around, because it just makes planning things so hard and so just, I don't know, money worrisome right now. Everyone's worried about money, and I don't really want to be planning shit.
Yeah. So we did plan our wedding to be about on May 2nd next year.
Mm-hmm.
And with this whole thing going around, it's kind of scary, and it kind of makes me feel like we shouldn't have it in May, because had it been this year, it would have been canceled. And if it happens again next year, which
it probably will.
I feel like this might be a recurring thing.
Well, the second flu season is always the worst. And I doubt that everybody's going to get the vaccine. I feel like it's going to be one of those things where it's like, you can get your flu shot or you can get your COVID shot. And they're going to try to make it mandatory or something like that.
Yeah, they're definitely going to try to make it mandatory, especially in like schools and stuff for kids.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, I had to get my flu shot at Oregon State University or they wouldn't let you back in. And meningitis. There's a case of meningitis that were going around, and they were like, you cannot come back to school unless you get this shot.
Damn. Yeah, I think I remember something like that. I don't remember if it was meningitis, but I know we had to get our flu shots and all that other shit before we went back to school. It's kind of crazy. But definitely kind of makes me believe in vaccines a little bit more with this whole thing going around.
That's a hard subject for me.
I was definitely very anti-vaccine. I just think I don't like the idea that they force to do things to to go back to school or to live normal day lives, you know?
Well, the thing is that there are so many vaccines that we do need.
True.
Otherwise, I don't know, the bubonic plague would still be going around. Polio, all these crazy diseases. But there does come a point of why are we being forced to have so many different vaccines, especially if we're not at risk of getting them. And also, I think that if they were coming from a great source, then yeah, 100% everybody should have their vaccines. But very sketchy where we're getting all our vaccines from.
Yeah. It's just, especially for our wedding next year, I feel like we should probably do it in September. I feel like typically the summer kind of burns off a lot of these diseases. I think it does. I'm not a scientist, but I think usually after summer is a better time and safer time, like September or something like that.
Well, less people get sick when it's warm out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And September's right at, it's like that sweet spot kind of.
True. I'd be down for that after the summer ends.
Yeah.
Right before your birthday.
Right before my birthday. But that doesn't mean that you can buy me one present. For both
That's
days.
What you're thinking about? This is the present.
You are a good present. So, I wanted to talk to you about some botany stuff.
Okay.
Because I feel like with this whole quarantine thing going around, I bet you a lot of people are sitting there like, man, I wish we grew our own vegetables and we were more self-sustainable.
Oh, completely. The road to being self-sustainable is not exactly an easy one to learn how to start to do.
Yeah.
But it just takes one plant growing, and you kind of get the idea. And
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people just don't give it the time like they do other things, like spending on Netflix or Instagram or things like that. If you got up, spent 30 minutes on your plants, you would have a garden.
Yeah. Yeah. So what plants have you grown like before the ones that we have? Like what vegetables?
Vegetables. I've grown tomatoes. Actually, in my freshman dorm room, I had a full tomato plant growing out my window. Don't want to admit this, I had a full weed plant growing out my window my freshman year in my dorm.
I believe it.
Yeah, that was
For
a good
those
one.
of you who don't know, Lily is literally like a weed scientist. Well, I would say like a botanist because she's good at all plants, but when she starts talking about the marijuana, she's like a freaking scientist. Super brilliant.
When you're in it for long enough, I guess.
Yeah. So I actually met Lily working at High Quality, which is a weed store in Oregon. She was the bud tender, right?
Bud tender, yeah.
Bud tender.
Yeah, it was a good time. It definitely taught me a lot of things from everywhere, from the whole industry, how people treated each other, how people got started, to the plant itself, genetics, the different ways that you can consume. I think my favorite part about it was having 80-year-old men who have never smoked before, had thought this was the devil's drug. Like, oh, the devil's lettuce, that kind of thing. Yeah. And they would come in and just be like, I've had these symptoms for years. I have this disease and I don't know what to do to elevate it. My doctor says I should try this crazy drug. I've tried it. It doesn't work. And then set them up with like, try taking a dab or try taking CBD or RSO and all these crazy things. And a lot of times they would come back and be like, that was amazing. Please help me more.
What's RSO?
RSO is real spectrum oil. Is it? I don't know.
Yeah. It's crazy the
I forget what it's
opinion
called.
people have on like marijuana and that kind of stuff who have never done it before. Mm-hmm. It's like they think it's so crazy and like people who do it are such drug addicts and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I should be admitting this, but I'm going to say it. So the owner of High Quality, I'm just going to say his first name, Brock. His aunt is the singer from Grease.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And I'm not going to say who either. But she actually had a form of cancer, and Brock actually helped her heal with forms of full spectrum cannabis oil and a daily regimen of taking in at least a gram.
Yeah. I've heard that many times, like weed can really like kind of fight cancer and that kind of stuff, especially like CBDs and all those things.
Well, what a lot of people don't realize, it's not actually just CBD or THC or these different cannabinoids that are within the plant. Like, it's not THC, it's not CBD. They do help. What actually is going to be the fighting cause for cancer a lot of the time are certain cannabinoids like, I don't know, like CBC and like GBC, like different types of cannabinoids that are within the plant. And it's always like a combination of different cannabinoids. When you isolate just one cannabinoid, it doesn't have that, it doesn't have like the butterfly effect.
Yeah, for sure.
Like one doesn't help, like if you have them all together, one helps the other. Mm-hmm. When you have one isolated, like when people buy 99% THC, you actually aren't going to get as high off of that as comparably to, I don't know, like something that's 60% THC, 20% CBD, blah, 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 this has this. Like you are not going to get as high unless you have everything. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, trust me. If you have like a full spectrum cannabis oil that has everything in it, comparably to 99% THC crystals, you will get way higher off that full spectrum stuff.
So, like, let's say someone wanted to get into weed and they wanted to try it out. What would you recommend? Like, what would you tell them to go get? Like, let's say I come in, I'm like, hey, Lily, I've never tried this before. What do I do and how should I start? Like, should I take an edible? Like, what should I do?
My first response is, are you afraid of smoking? Because usually that's the easiest way to get into it. edibles can be really tricky, especially if they're not regulated. If you're just making your own edibles, dangerous. If you're just getting an edible from a friend, I wouldn't really trust it that well. If you're going into a medical or recreational shop that says this is 5 milligrams, take this, then yeah, that's a pretty good way to start.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely taken some edibles from some of my roommates or that kind of stuff, and next thing you know, I'm on Mars, pacing around my bedroom.
I think everybody has had one of those experiences.
Yeah.
I remember actually, my friend was in Calistoga at the time, and my friend drove up from San Jose and brought these delicious coconut chocolate chip cookies. I said, try one. I said, okay.
Dangerous.
So I ate one. My friend couldn't finish his other one, so I ate it. So I had 2 cookies. I blacked out. I remember sushi that I remember drawing on the table with some chopsticks and soy sauce. Blacked out. Remember waking up in my bed. Nothing else.
Damn.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Is like, as long as you know where your stuff is from, it's really safe.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't just be trying random edibles, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the dangerous ones.
They'll put seasoned stoners still on their ass.
Yeah. So if people are afraid of smoking, then you would say edibles?
Edibles, probably like 5 milligrams to start with. 5 milligrams is right where your psychoactivity really starts to take a hold for the human being. Some people, it's around 4. Some people, it can be as high as 10. And this really does not... it does not depend on your resilience and like your tolerance to it. This is one of those things that your endocannabinoid system just has different. It's like a lock and key, basically. So you have all these locks inside you.
Yeah.
In your brain. And basically when CBD goes in, it clicks into place with that lock. It's like a key. Yeah. And if it has the right formula, it'll turn it and let those all endorphins flood in. So it's one of those things where it just depends on your whole chemistry of your body.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like smoking weed very much. I like to smoke the tiniest amount, and that's what I would always tell people is like, don't take a bunch of hits, take like one little hit, and then just like, it doesn't really give you the full high effect, and you just think on a different level. You just think different things. It's not like, it's like you just open up different pathways. And you're just like, I never thought of this before.
Well, it's also like every
ideas.
Person has ideas.
Yeah, ideas.
I like that one.
I used to have a notepad in my phone, and it would be called Ideas, and it was just shit that I would think of when I was high.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So what's on that list?
I don't have it anymore, but it was when I was like 18. It was
long ago
like,
then.
Why aren't there bunk bed couches?
What?
Yeah, like shit. I was like, why isn't there like 2-level couches and stuff?
That's because you lived in a bunk bed with your brother, huh?
Yes, but when you think about it, like a lot of times you want to like sit on the top and like be a little higher, and then I don't know. I just feel like a bunk bed couch, not over it, but like a little bit behind it would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I feel like that would be really cool too. It's
Yeah,
like a home theater. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's a good one.
that'd be pretty sweet. But back to the plants, the normal plants, because
normal plants.
for people out there who might want to start a garden, like we have, what do we have? Tomatoes, jalapenos, beets, broccoli,
kale. The kale started sprouting actually just recently. We have poppy flowers. We have morning glory. We have sage. We have pineapple sage in particular. I just planted some cilantro that sprouted, and it's really happy. What else?
Yeah, but just
citrus tree. Yeah, we have a pomegranate tree.
Yeah, having your own vegetables is so satisfying. Like when we ate that jalapeno the other day compared to the other jalapenos,
it tasted so much better.
It's so much better. And it's just so satisfying. So like if you could just be fully sustainable on your own stuff, like you only need like 5 or 6 vegetable plants and you're golden.
Well, I mean, especially in terms of like what's going on right now, like everyone freaking out, going to the store, spending all this money. Like it was just one of those terrifying moments that I just thought to myself, I wish I had everything self-sustainable. I wish I had a farm. I wish
Yeah.
I had my chickens outside running around and laying eggs yet, or I wish I had my own cow. Like, it definitely was one of those realizing moments that if the world were to go to shit, I still would be okay. And I don't like feeling like I'm so reliant on what's going on in our economy,
Yeah.
what's going on in our world.
Yeah. Yeah. So we just got chickens like what 6 weeks ago? No,
5 weeks?
5 weeks
4.5
ago?
weeks ago.
4.5 weeks ago.
They're big now.
Yeah.
They're really big
those
now.
Chickens literally go from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah.
Like they grew up in like 4 weeks and they're pretty much like what, close to full size now? 75%?
I would give them more like 60%.
Yeah.
They're
just
fully feathered though.
evolved real quickly. It's pretty crazy watching that.
They're still inside our house, so they're kind of loud, but they're going outside next week.
Yeah.
Thank God.
So if you guys have never had chickens before, you get them when they're a few days old. You put them in like a little crate or something with like the wood chips on the ground under a heat lamp.
Yeah, you need to keep them under a heat lamp. You can't let them get too cold.
Yeah, they need to be really warm because those, like the fur that they have just does not keep them warm until they get their feathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you feed them like this baby starter food and keep their water like fully stocked at all times. You can't ever let them not have water. I've actually learned this cool little trick from watching so many YouTube channels about chickens, putting apple cider vinegar in their water. So I've actually been doing that since they were a week old. And basically it helps prevent, not much, like literally a capful, but it prevents against mites and fleas.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So how long until we have eggs?
So 16 weeks from birth.
From birth.
From birth.
So we're like
4
a little
months.
over 25% of the way there.
Mm-hmm. Which once they start getting outside and they start getting comfortable, it really just depends on when they're ready to start brooding.
Yeah.
But we do have a rooster. This was a scary thing. Within the first week of us having chickens, we started to realize one of the light Brahmas doesn't exactly look like the other ones. And yeah, it's definitely a male. It's growing up and it still kind of has male characteristics. This has a little poking out chest. This feathers are slightly different. So I was a little worried about having a rooster since they are so annoying. But having a rooster also in times of distress in the world, being able to create more chickens, like how many of my coworkers hit me up the first week of COVID-19 happening and being like, hey, do you have baby chicks? Do you have eggs? Do you have this? Like, I want to start my own chicken farm. I want to start have my own chickens. And I'm just like, I don't yet, but I see the need for it.
Yeah, you like inspired your parents to get them. You
My
probably
mom went all the way.
inspired my parents who were thinking about getting them. I mean, they're pretty easy to take care of. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're pretty much doing all the work, but
Yeah, you're going to say anything about that?
no,
Who's been
it's
taking
totally
care of them?
all you.
Thank you. So, no, it is pretty easy. They're definitely easier than cats, dogs, anything like that. Like,
Yeah, and we had them right next to our bed, so they're not even that loud, and it's almost kind of like meditating here. We go chirp, 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 chirp. Yeah, all night long.
all night long.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom actually went full throttle with the animal thing. I got chickens. She's like, I've been thinking about that. She got chickens. The next week, she got a dog. Another dog. The next week, she got 2 lambs. Like, my mom went full on farm mode.
Damn.
They're cute, too.
So so your parents live in Calistoga, which is a little bit north of San Francisco. Are they planning on staying there for a while, or they're gonna try to?
Mixed signals from them on that one. Just with Sonoma Valley having so many fires all the time.
That's
and
gotta be
less than a mile
get
from our house.
out of there.
Both years in a row, we were less than a mile. Like,
You're rolling the dice.
I know. But, like, they love that property. My mom has put so much effort into it and made it from, I think she bought it for, like, $250,000.
Yeah.
A couple acres. I looked on Zillow recently. It's, like, at $850,000 right now for like their zestimate or whatever.
Yeah.
And my mom has done such incredible work on the property. She made a whole garden. She fixed up the vineyard. She's basically made it a beautiful farm comparably to what it was when she moved in, which was a dump.
Yeah.
They remodeled the house even. So I definitely think that my mom is just really hard to part with something that's been so close to her heart for so many years now.
Yeah. It's
like, when are you going to get your parents out of here or out of LA?
I don't know. They live in, I thought it was like the greatest place to ever live. And I was always like, I'll never move out of LA. I love LA. Like, it's the reason why I am who I am. And I moved out of LA. It took me till 26, 27 is when I moved to Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah, greatest decision of my life. It's like literally like 25% of the stress is just gone from not being surrounded by so many people and just like no traffic. That's a huge thing. Like, you sit in traffic for an hour to 2 hours every day, pretty much no matter what.
Yeah, that is one thing that I promised myself is I'm never moving back to California. So I got out of California when I was 18 years old, and I went to Oregon State University up in Corvallis, Oregon. And honestly, I just knew that I would never, ever go back. Just the traffic, the way of life, how people act. Like, I'm not to say that there aren't a lot of great creative minds out in California. There definitely are. California is a huge staple in America. But just the way of life that I've seen, I'm just not really interested in it as much.
Yeah, it's a bummer because it's such a sweet spot with the mountains and the beaches and perfect weather. And it's just like, damn it, everyone has to live there? Really?
Well, yeah, you got to trade things for things, though. Like,
it's just so expensive, and the laws just suck.
Yeah, that is the one thing about living in the Napa Valley growing up, was hearing about how we had to listen to laws that San Francisco would pass.
Yeah.
And we're a tiny, tiny valley. My town was 5,000 people. Like,
yeah,
there's no reason we should be listening to certain laws, but we are. And
yeah, it's unfortunate because like from like San Francisco up to Oregon, like all that land in the middle, that's like Kentucky. It's like it's like a different place.
It really is.
And they have to follow the same rules as Los Angeles. It doesn't make any sense. Like when they were going to split California up into three divisions,
brilliant.
I was like, yeah, that is brilliant. Like why is California so damn big anyways?
Humboldt versus LA. Can we just talk about how different mindsets there are in both places?
Yeah.
How different of a life it is. Like, Humboldt is damn near Oregon. Like, that is Oregon in my opinion. Like, when I was looking at schools, it was between Oregon State and Humboldt State. And because I wanted to be somewhere really naturey. And wow, just I don't know if I'm going to offend anybody, but the hippies that are in Humboldt, man,
Totally.
like, wow, it's just so different. Like, there was 20 beautiful 20-year-olds, men and like women, just like dressed in hippie clothing, not showering, not caring. Like, they were just working hard, doing like really cool science stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just, you look down at LA and you see a bunch of people I'm not saying they're not as educated, but there definitely is more of an appearance to look good versus be smart.
Yeah, and like what's the difference between North California and Oregon? Because you lived in both places. What would you say is like the main differences?
Well, I'm going to say I live more in Central California because San Francisco is more central. I know we consider it North California, but it's not. Like, Humboldt is Northern California.
Yeah, I had, like, until I did that circus tour, I did not know anything above San Francisco. It was, in my mind, it was San Francisco, Portland, Seattle.
Yeah,
and they were, like, they seemed so close to each other until I did that tour, and it was like, whoa, there's all of the, like, the whole entire tour was all in between San Jose and Portland. basically we were just in between that the whole time, and I was just like discovering all these crazy cities.
Mendocino. Beautiful.
So beautiful.
And such a different world. Like,
Totally.
you go up there and it is the greenest, lushest valley that you'll ever go to. And it's just crazy driving up and down California because I don't know. I think that most people don't realize how big of a state it is.
Yeah.
Like, it is wildly big, and it ranges from every temperature, every climate, like every type of person it lives in California.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why their laws are so ridiculous, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Mendocino. If you have not been to Mendocino,
Go
my
visit.
God, you have to go. They have the craziest views ever.
And the best weed.
Yeah, probably.
They really do.
Yeah, I was making it a thing on that tour. I would go to a different weed shop every week and buy a gram of weed in every city.
That's how you met me.
That is how I met you.
Yeah. Well, also,
Well, no.
the story of how Tanner and I met. So one of Tanner's employees, Max J.
Yep.
And the ringleader, Amelia, and her fiance, Anjo. They came into High Quality, and I knew immediately these people weren't from Corvallis. I was like, what are you guys here for? You're here for something. And they were like, we're from a circus. We're in town. We're at the park. And I was like, it's either a crackhead circus or it's a legit circus, and I'm going to go for sure to see which one it is.
Yeah.
And I went and saw you at the ticket booth.
Yeah. So we met at the ticket booth. Rhea, who was working with me at the ticket booth, was like, that girl was totally hitting on you, and you didn't say anything.
I was. I totally was.
And I was like,
I was
I'm
on
in
my
the middle of Oregon. I'm not going to try to talk to a girl out here. This is not going to work out.
I was on my single girl grind, and you were like the first guy I'd flirted with, and I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to flirt with him. And my coworker was with me, Cheyenne, and she was like, okay, go for it. And you just shut me down so hard. So hard.
It just didn't seem like a good idea to talk to a girl in Oregon when I was going to be out of there in 3 days.
Fair. I'll give you that.
And then I was going to be back in Vegas in like 10 days.
Anyways, he hit me up. He DM'd me.
Well, I didn't because I like saw you in the show. I did a few flips, pointed at you, maybe winked or something.
You did some flirty stuff.
And then you just left after the show. Didn't even say hi. Just bolted out the door. And I was like, well, guess I'm never gonna see her again until the next day.
Until you stalked me.
Yeah. So the next day I went to do my usual go buy a gram of weed in every pot shop in the.
Don't let him fool you. He totally stalked me to find me. Totally did.
Totally. Went into a weed shop. Definitely was hoping that she would be there because I heard she worked at a weed shop. And as I was about to leave, she walked in, saw her.
I was rolling pre-rolls in the back. Like, I would roll like 500, 600 a day. And these were one of my days that I was doing that. And so I wasn't in the front of house. And I walked out for a second just to grab a rolling tray. And he's standing there and he just looks at me and he's like, you were in the crowd. And I was like, you were in the circus. And he just pulls out a free ticket. And he's like, will you come tonight?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, let me come take photos of you guys. I love photography. I just want to mess with my new camera, yada, yada.
Yeah. And I'm totally into videos and photos and stuff. So as soon as I saw you show up with a camera, I was like, ooh, that's someone I'm going to pursue.
And I brought my coworker, Brad.
Yeah. And I was
who has
like,
a kid.
damn it. She has a boyfriend.
I just didn't want to go alone to a circus. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. How long did we do long distance for? Like
5.5, 6 months, somewhere in there.
Yeah, that was tough. 6 months of long distance at the beginning of a relationship, and then you moved.
I feel like it made everything so easy, though.
Yeah.
It made everything so easy, and I thought it was batshit insane when he was like, move to Vegas, move in with me. And I was like, shouldn't I, like, get my own apartment? Shouldn't I, let's not move so fast kind of thing? Yeah. And he was just so adamant, like, it's going to work.
I already knew I was going to ask you to marry me, though, so.
And it did work. It worked really well. Like, I think just being apart for so long and not being able to express physical things,
Yeah.
like just being able to talk all the time and get that out there, that we were just so comfortable with each other when I did move here.
Yeah.
Like, we knew mostly all the stuff about each other.
And if you could survive a long distance relationship for 6 months, you can survive a regular relationship.
True. Very true.
Yeah, like it's tough. Long distance is very tough. It's like the out of sight, out of mind thing. And if you can keep the relationship going, like
I have iffy
it
feelings
works.
about that statement.
I've seen so many relationships fall apart as soon as they had to go long distance.
I'm not going to lie with you there,
Yeah.
but I think it's more of not out of sight, out of mind. It's out of sight, want to be with them so badly that you'd rather just not be with them. Because I've seen that a lot with people where they're so obsessed with the fact of like, I can't be with them. I can't give them a hug. I can't do this. I can't do that. That they're just like, I'd rather not do this. I'd rather be with somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people just aren't mature enough to be in certain relationships. Like,
Another true. For
honestly, you shouldn't be in a relationship until you're like, I mean, it depends on like how your mindset is, because like some people grow up faster than others. Like I feel like I grew up pretty fast, and then I feel like some of my friends
Really? I
did
think
not
you're a
grow
little
up. Yeah,
childish.
no, I'm a child, but I'm also I think I have myself pretty together compared to most people. And like for example, I used to always joke around like you're closer in age to like Dylan and our other roommates. But
I'm younger than your younger brother.
by like 4 years,
Yeah,
I know.
by 4 years.
Yeah, but you matured a little faster than like most girls your age, in my opinion.
I'll just let you believe
I'm just
that.
saying, like, I don't think that
I got the party out
most
of me.
relationships
I'm
are
done with
gonna
that.
work, and most people just get attached to each other, and they just want to be with each other because they want that comfort. And a lot of like that's why a lot of relationships happen, is because people just want that comfort, and they're like, I don't know, they want to get laid every day.
I mean, fair point.
Yeah,
Fair.
yeah,
Maybe that was another good point of us being long distance in the beginning, was just that if we wanted to be together, if we wanted to make it work, we had to. It wasn't a kind of comfort thing. You had been single for a while.
yeah,
I had been single just a little bit, but
yeah.
it definitely was one of those things of like, I could go on not making this work and just do my own thing, but I really do like him.
Yeah. I was in the mode of like put your head down and just work on your business. I had the shoes. They had already been ordered. 1,000 pairs of shoes. My stunt show was just starting to get going. Can you put that on silent?
Sorry, my mother added a photo and sent it to me. Sorry. I
Yeah.
have to
But
text my mom.
some people aren't in like the right mentality for a relationship, and then you see it when they get together.
Very true. Next topic.
Yeah. Yeah, so how is Vegas so far for you though?
Oh, fantastic.
You like it? It's cheap.
I
You have
am.
a lot of stuff.
No, I will say it is fantastic. I definitely have a better mindset here. I think that in Oregon, I was definitely stuck in this.
Been
At
there
least
for a year now.
Yeah, I think where I was in Oregon was had been there for 5 years, since I was 18 years old. So I made a lot of different changes there, from like drinking and smoking for the first time and partying
College life.
college life. My parents were very strict in the beginning, and like not strict like unruly, but that
Yeah.
was like, you have to be home at dark kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess going crazy was definitely something that happened, and I made so many changes that at the very end I wasn't fully comfortable with making the final change to who like I am.
Yeah.
And like, I think that Vegas really allowed me to have the opportunity to recreate myself, and I do feel comfortable if I were to go back there to visit or something like that. Like, I'm very confident in myself now, of knowing exactly what I want to do, exactly what I like to do, not being peer pressured to drink, things like that. Like, that was definitely one of my problems the last year I was there, was I wasn't going out and partying. I didn't go to bars anymore. I didn't go out to the clubs. and all my friends, that was their get together. That was how I'd see them.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do that anymore. So I actually just stopped really hanging out with my friends. Which, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, you were fortunate enough to get a job here, like, within the first, like, few days that you moved here.
Yeah, that is true.
Working at Parkway Tavern, which is, like,
That was a life change.
bar for, like,
A
kids who
tavern.
just turned, like, 21.
So this tavern is open 24 hours, and it turned into a club on the weekends. And all of a sudden, I was a server working till 5 a.m. with 40 cards at a time, credit cards, and drunk people trying to get them to sign their tabs, and they'd be ordering more shots and more drinks and everything. And it was really fun. Don't get me wrong, it was very fun, but that's just, I don't know how people do that for more than like a year or two. Shit. I only made it a couple months before I was like, damn, this lifestyle is not for me.
Literally like a month and a half that you worked there?
No.
Was it more than that?
Yes. It was for 4 months, actually.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That job was toxic, though.
I did drink after work, and it would be like 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, I just don't think those are good.
You'd come
for, like,
home, the
people's
sun is
sanity.
rising up, and you're like, crap, I just need a drink right now after that craziness.
Yeah.
And then you sleep all day until 2 or 3 p.m., and then you wake up and you do it all over again.
Yeah, it's hard to be, like, productive and especially, like, establish yourself in any kind of career when you have a job like that.
It did make great money, though. I can understand doing it, like, 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Which I kind of was getting to. But also just the people were a little catty there. No offense. I think that's just server industry kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was just fresh off from Corvallis, which the people are so extremely nice in Corvallis. People are out of their way nice. The drivers go slower for you to go in front of them kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like very like, hey, neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas is not like that.
Not at all. Yeah. So you went from that bar to a pool, which is a very high-end place, like super expensive not restaurant, hotel.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called again?
Westin.
The
Westin Hotel.
Westin Hotel.
But we were at
in Henderson.
Lake Las Vegas.
Oh, Lake Las Vegas.
A much nicer place, excuse you.
Super expensive, like great view, like nice place. And that place seemed like it's kind of like the same thing, except you're working by a pool.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't.
It's in the daytime.
Yeah, and it's not bad. Like, that place is they're much more accommodating, and the girls were much more.
Not just any girl or not just any guy can, like, work there. It's definitely more particular.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's not like an entry-level job, though. Not an entry-level server position either.
I
And
mean,
most girls, like, have to go to these tryouts for those places.
Yeah. I guess the thing is about serving by a pool, though, is it's just you have to look good and you have to know your shit.
Yeah.
You have to know the drinks. You have to know the food. You have to be able to take down 10 orders at a time and just store that in your head and just be like, okay, this person is this person. I know exactly where they are at the pool and what they ordered. And that's not easy, especially when it's 118 degrees out. You're probably really dehydrated.
Yeah.
And you're running around in a bikini and you're just like trying not to get sunburnt. And I mean, also, great job. I love that job.
Yeah.
We're shut down due to COVID right now, but
Damn it.
I know.
Coronavirus screwing everything up.
Damn it. I know. I was so excited to get tan again this summer.
You can get tan.
Tanner. Yeah, no, I've actually been laying out in the sun during this coronavirus shutdown.
Yeah.
Just praying that it gets a little bit warmer before everything gets back to normal so I can get a tan in.
Yeah.
But we should get a blow-up pool.
Blow-up pool would be pretty sweet.
They're only like $200.
Where are we going to put it?
Right
We don't have enough space, though. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was going to say,
like
shut the
an
fuck
acre
up.
of open land.
But yeah,
yeah.
I moved from the pool, and then I actually spent I spent 1 month back in Oregon, and I did Croptober, so like when all the marijuana plants are basically getting trimmed up and pre-rolling and all that crazy stuff. So I went back to do that, and then I didn't have a job for a couple months.
No, you didn't.
I mean, I was making money still, though. That was the thing. Like, I had photography gigs that were getting lined up. I worked for Tanner, worked for you for the Winter Holiday Dreams show in Reno, which great show if you're ever in Reno. Definitely should go see it. Worked for that one, and then come January, I applied to a gun range, which my friend worked at, and I got the job.
702 range.
Range 702. Great place as well. If you have never shot a gun before and you want to learn how to shoot, that is the place to go. Like, our range safety officers are fresh out of the military.
Definitely.
Like, know exactly how to dismantle a gun, how to teach people how to shoot, like, how to be safe about it. We haven't had any actual accidents, which were, like, the only range that has happened with that.
Knock on wood. Is your head wood?
Nothing in there.
Yeah. So working, like, how has it been working at a gun range? Because a lot of people would be, like, probably terrified and not want to actually work at a gun range. Like,
it's not scary. My mom was terrified for me, and I was like, Mom, no, this isn't, like, okay. If anybody's going to try to, like, rob a gun range, you're getting shot, like, real fast.
Probably not the best place to do that.
Every person has concealed carry.
Yeah.
And, like, I know a lot of people are like, well, more guns, more chance for, like, accidents. And, yeah, there is a chance for accidents. That's why all our range safety officers are trained really well. And, like, our range is indoors, and it's behind 2 bulletproof doors.
Yeah.
Like, I work out on the sales floor, so not near firing guns, really. But if anybody were to do anything stupid, how many people would just automatically just whip out their gun and are dead shots too? Like, I feel more safe there than most places. Yeah. Like, there is, so we're offering training safety courses for people right now, especially with how many people are buying guns for the first time with COVID-19. And there's this pharmacy lady who comes in with her coworker, this guy, and they've shot there like maybe 4 or 5 times and taken the safety training classes. And they're like, we need to get comfortable. Our pharmacy keeps on getting broken into. People keep threatening us to give them medications. Like, we need to be protected. We need to protect other people. And it makes me realize, wow, I'm in one of the safest places that, like, everyone has guns already that would die to protect me. Yeah. And I would die to, like, protect somebody else. Like, that's just how it goes. And, like, I think about people who are in these essential jobs that have the chance of being, like, attacked or being robbed and all this, like, makes me grateful. That's what I gotta say.
With, like, money and no protection at all, that's probably more dangerous, especially in, like, Vegas or LA, those kind of places.
Oh God, I can't even think about, like, LA and just, like, how normal that is to have robberies take place.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of crazy place. So you guys, I guess a place in North Las Vegas did get robbed, though, right?
So this is what I've heard. There was a gun store in North Las Vegas, and, you know, most of the gun stores had to cut most of their staff. Yeah. That was just fact. They had to cut them.
Due to the coronavirus.
Yeah, due to the coronavirus. Like, we can't give you all jobs. And so they're working at half staff. And as well as there is an influx in customers that are coming in, new first-time gun owners, which is so terrifying. Just having so many new people with guns that have no training behind it, just in panic buying. And this guy came in, apparently, and asked to see an AR-15 off the wall. Now, you can when you're selling a gun, you can hand them the gun. There's no clip in it. They're not going to run off because there's usually security officers and things like that, or other employees. Well, this guy pulled out a loaded magazine and slipped it into the AR-15 and said, "This is mine now." And nobody, not even the security officers, are going to shoot into a crowd at a guy who is surrounded by people because apparently he was super busy. And he just walked off with the gun. Yeah. Which is, like, how much money? Like $600?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was him, I probably would have picked out a really expensive one.
I know, right? That was a ballsy move, though. Because if somebody was quick to the trigger, he would have been dead.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially, he made that threat. That threat, like, I will shoot you for this gun kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. That's why, actually, the Range 702 has security officers with guns now. Like, if you walk in, and a lot of people are kind of getting upset about this.
Not just guns.
Yeah.
Like, if after this happened, you walk in, there's a dude standing with, like, full riot gear with an AR-15 that's loaded in his hand. Just, it's honestly a little intimidating. I feel very safe around it, though.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of Yelp reviews that people hate it. But you know what? They don't understand the severity of what's going on. Like, they are there to protect you. They are there to make sure that you are not hurt. You are not robbed for your gun that you just purchased.
Yeah.
Like, our security guard walked somebody out to their car the other day, and we're like, yeah, you just bought a gun and a bunch of ammunition, and that's like gold right now. Like, you honestly should just drive home with it immediately.
Yeah, the lines, you pass a gun store and there's a line that's like an hour long just to buy ammunition.
Well, with background checks too, like, nobody's getting guns really that much right now. Like, now they are, but background checks were taking 1 to 4 days, which usually they would take, 20 minutes at most?
Yeah.
So it's definitely gotten, like, the demand for guns is definitely really high right now. And I think a lot of people who are against the Second Amendment are definitely preaching it, which is wild to me. I never thought I would see the day where more people are for guns.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Like, if a burglar or someone who wants to hurt you is allowed to have a certain level of weapons, would you not? To me, it doesn't make sense. I get that accidents happen and you don't want your kids to have a gun. But, dude, if shit goes down like it is right now, like, people are getting robbed left and right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and you don't want to protect yourself?
It's being educated on your gun, being educated how to have it safely, how to handle it, how to dismantle it, how to keep it away from kids. Like, I think that what a lot of people who are against the Second Amendment think is that they hear all these horror stories of kids hurting themselves, of people shooting themselves, of people shooting the wrong person, things like that. And I won't deny there are very stupid cases that you can look up anywhere. Columbine, like, holy moly, that is really fucked up. But responsible gun owners, which makes up most of, like, licensed gun owners, don't do much wrong. And passing laws, continuous laws against it, isn't really going to do much for the people who are already following all those laws.
Yeah.
Like, guns are coming in here illegally everywhere. It's the same with, like, cocaine.
Yeah.
It's coming in illegal. You can't really do much about it. I mean, you can stop where it's being imported from, which I don't think that really happens with guns as so much as people, like, the government worried about drug smuggling.
Yeah.
So, like fentanyl. Ugh.
Yeah.
I heard, that one's a nasty one that keeps killing people.
I'd be really disappointed if they got to the point where they started taking away guns or something. Because it's like, then you just literally, like, you're seeing right now, the government does have quite a bit of power. If they say, let's shut everything down, everyone is essentially sheep and just like, okay. And
this is why I'm saying self-sufficient farm. If you are on a self-sufficient farm, are you kidding me? What are they going to do? They're going to come in and say, you don't have access to this? Cool. I'll just stay at home with all my plants and animals and just keep on doing me.
Yeah.
If you are far enough out there, this is kind of why I want to live somewhere that's a little bit more rural.
Yeah.
Like, Las Vegas isn't that rural.
Yeah.
And it's in the desert, which we don't really have many natural resources. So.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, we already have a few guns. And hopefully that, I mean, we're pretty protected. We got security lights and stuff.
We did have a very interesting circumstance.
Which is what I wanted to lead into. Yesterday, pretty sketchy looking van, no license plate.
It had a temporary license plate on the back.
Piece of paper on their back. So they were like sitting in the living room. There's a car pulls into our driveway slowly. Definitely looking at all our stuff.
Slowly.
And everyone's like, oh, Madeline's home. I'm like, that's not Madeline. That's a van. So I look out the window. I see a van parked in our driveway. In the driveway. And, like, just if you're picturing this, we live on an acre, like almost an acre and a half.
We also
or so.
have a rounded in driveway.
Yeah.
Like a loop. So you have to drive in through our gates. Like, you know, this is not a place where you're supposed to be unless you know the people that live there or you're trying to steal something.
Yeah.
Like, this person drove through our looped driveway.
Yeah. And it's one person. It was like an older, well, we didn't know at the time. It was like a probably like 35-year-old girl chilling in the car. But so anyways, we see this. I go grab my handgun, walk out, like it's in my pocket.
All three of the guys
Me,
in the house
my brother, and Mason
out.
all walk out.
And this
walking
car,
up
like,
to the van, because the van. Okay, so after they pull in, they pull out, and we have a huge lot next to this, which is like
with
an
a
acre.
gate.
Yeah,
But
driving
it's not
up
like
next to the gate,
connected
and
to
you
our
can
house.
literally see her staring into our backyard.
Well, she
driving,
drove past it and then reversed to look into where our gate, to see our side yard, to see if anything was there to steal, which we don't have like much back there that's valuable.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of who has it, like we have a tramp wall, we have mats, we have a teeter.
Not
teeter
really
board.
anything you can steal though.
Yeah, like if
Of
you
value.
you would not be able to steal it
You
and
would
like
need
sell it.
a trailer at minimum.
Which your trailer was also back there.
Yeah, my trailer is back there.
So basically, Mason and Tanner follow after this car, and we're about to go, or this van, and we're about to ask them like what they're doing, and start like walking up to them while this girl is looking into our yard, and this car just speeds off, like literally just leaves.
As soon as she sees us walking up to the window, just speeds off. So we jump in the Tesla, follow her for like quite a while, get the
like
license
15
plate,
minutes.
and like.
Yeah, we have her license plate, and we have pictures of her. So if anything,
we will shoot you if you try to steal our shit.
Second Amendment.
Yeah.
No, it definitely was one of those situations that it made me think like this person could be scouting our house out for somebody else, and
I can't think
because
of
it's a
anything else
young
she was
woman,
doing.
like nobody's really gonna suspect a young woman, but the way she did it, it was so sketchy, and just the reversing to look in our side lot and then taking off, like it was.
I mean, we don't have neighbors. There's no reason anyone should be on our street.
Yeah.
No one else lives on our street.
Literally, they're doing construction next to us to build new houses, but they're empty lots right now.
Yeah.
Anyways, this was just this one situation where it made everyone in the house super hyper alert.
Yeah.
And made us realize, wow, we are.
No, I've been saying it. We're kind of a target because we don't have neighbors.
Target.
We have
can't run to
one
somebody
neighbor,
else.
but like we're in the middle of everything. We have a big, nice tramp wall that everyone can see from the street.
Well, just how many cars we also have. Like, I'm would be surprised.
Lots of cars.
Like, you could steal one of our cars. I mean, don't, but
I mean,
you definitely could.
They're locked and stuff, but
like, if somebody was smart enough, they could do it.
Yeah, and my car got broken into the first week I moved to Vegas a few years ago.
Tough.
Damn. People, thieves. But
people really be going crazy in this COVID-19 business.
Yeah, dude.
People will be just losing their shit, robbing people. I keep on getting text messages from friends that live in Henderson that keep saying, there was a guy on my front porch. My Ring security basically told me there was. I called the cops on him. He was arrested. This guy was banging on my door, like crackheads out and about. Like, it's a whole crazy business right now.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely people who were laid off, who have no money now, are about to get in some really desperate times. And I think that really hasn't hit as much as we think it is going to hit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Because they just extended the quarantine.
Yeah. It's going to kill the economy. People are going to be out without money, get desperate.
Are you going to get tired of me?
Just don't come to our place. I don't want to shoot anyone.
Yeah, I definitely will shoot somebody.
But, I mean, fortunately, we have, like, security lights all over the place, so the whole place lights up like a freaking circus.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. Let's, you want to wrap it up right there? It's a good way to wrap it up.
This is Lily Orion. on the Off Axis podcast. Thank you for having me, Tanner.
Yeah, so Lily Orion on Instagram.
Follow me.
Thank you guys for watching again. Subscribe if you have not. We appreciate it. We're going to be doing a lot of podcasts.
Some
Number
good
10
podcasts.
down. On to 100.
On to 100.
Thank you guys. Peace.
Bye.